A for-profit to non-profit client who prepared well for the move, did the values work, felt the compensation step down, examined the operational reality, is now 3 months into the new role and calls before a session to say she thinks she made a mistake. What the coach does with that sentence is one of the more consequential decisions in a sector line engagement. The 90-day wall is structural. Most people who cross a significant sector line hit it at roughly this interval regardless of how thorough the pre-move preparation was. Naming it before the transition and scheduling a specific conversation to hold it reduces the probability that the client experiences the wall as evidence of a judgment error. It shows up in 3 characteristic forms. Authority recalibration shock, particularly prominent in the corporate to nonprofit direction, where the instinct to make a decision and have it implemented runs into the actual decision-making architecture. Board involvement, consensus dynamics, volunteer relationships, staff cultures built around collective ownership rather than hierarchical direction. The compensation step down arriving as monthly financial reality rather than annual arithmetic. And cultural language friction, nonprofit internal language reading as vague to someone who came from a corporate environment, and corporate sounding language reading as tone deaf in the other direction. Both directions experience some version of all 3. Before the client begins the new role, in the final session of the pre-transition work, name the arc without framing it as a caution. Something along the lines of, most people who make a move across a sector line hit a difficult stretch around 90 days. Cultural friction, the pay change landing differently than the calculation suggested, moments when the instincts built in the previous sector do not work the way they should. When that happens, it does not mean the decision was wrong. It means you are in the arc that almost everybody goes through. We will have a conversation specifically for it. I want to schedule it now. Setting up that conversation in advance gives the client a framework for the difficulty before it arrives. This is a specific scheduling act. Put the 90-day conversation on the calendar before the client starts the new role. When the wall arrives, and there is already a container for it, the client is much less likely to treat difficulty as evidence of a wrong decision. There is a specific action in this framing. The pre-contracting is not just saying the words, it is scheduling the conversation before the client starts the new role. A session that exists on the calendar is a different container than a vague mutual understanding that we will check in. The reason this matters, difficulty at 90 days is almost certain. What the pre-contracting changes is the interpretive frame the client brings to it. A client who was told to expect a wall and who has a session booked to process it reads the difficulty as part of a known arc. A client who arrives at the same difficulty without a container is likely to interpret it as evidence of a wrong decision and to move quickly from that interpretation to an exit. Pre-contracting is a scheduling act that buys 2 sessions of interpretive space. Have that language ready before the final pre-move session. The 2 different situations at 90 days, normal adjustment and genuine mismatch, require different coaching responses. The primary discipline is not rushing the client toward identifying which situation they are in. Normal adjustment tends to show these patterns. The difficulty eases rather than compounds over the first several months. The client can point to colleagues, projects, or pockets of the work where something feels right, even when the overall picture is still hard. And the role is what was described before the hire. Genuine mismatch shows up differently. The difficulty does not ease and may worsen. There are material differences between what the role was described as during hiring and what the role actually is. scope, authority, reporting lines, resource control. And the values friction is embedded in the structure of the work, not just in how people talk. Example, a nonprofit to corporate client 3 months in who says everything feels transactional. Ask, what in the work is actually working, even if small? What tells you this environment is workable? She names 3 colleagues she has come to respect, and one initiative where her background is actively useful. That picture, some friction but real points of alignment, is adjustment. A different 90-day picture. A for-profit to nonprofit client who reports that board involvement in day-to-day program decisions is much higher than what was described in the hiring process. That budget authority she understood herself to have is actually subject to board committee approval, and that the former occupant of her role is still present in an informal advisory capacity. Ask, when you compare the role you agreed to in the hiring process with the role you are actually in, what is materially different? When the answer involves scope, authority, reporting, or resource control, things that were described one way and turned out to be structured differently, that is environment information. It is not the adjustment arc. The coaching holds the distinction. Do not rush the determination. The sentence that opens the recontracting conversation, "I think I made a mistake," is not a decision point. The decision about what to do, if there is one, comes after the distinction between normal adjustment and genuine mismatch has been made. And that determination takes at least 2 real sessions under actual coaching conditions. The client at the 90-day wall has a lot of signal arriving simultaneously. Some of it is adjustment noise. Some of it is genuine environmental information. Both need time and attention to sort. The recontracting move comes first. The decision, if one is required, should emerge from clarity, not from the height of the wall itself. The distinction between normal adjustment and genuine mismatch runs differently depending on which direction the move was and what the specific client brought into the transition. B3.4.2 works one arc end to end, from the first discovery call through the 90-day recontracting conversation. The commentary at each beat names where each of the 4 moves appears and where the drift risk is highest if the move is skipped.